an ordained minister. And it's just one of the many beautiful stories of this city, of this police department, and we need more of them, and we need more of them together. That is how I truly believe we will get to where we want to be. I think men and women of this police department, I am extremely proud of. We make mistakes, and law enforcement across this country makes mistakes. We have blood, we bleed, we have biases, but I think all of us need to continue to see each other, continue to hear each other, continue to work together. And I truly hope that this is a beginning of a dialogue that will bring peace as much as possible to the Floyd family, but to New York City and this country as a whole. And Reverend, I just want to publicly thank you for extending the branch and having this conversation today. Ben?
Reverend McCall, pleasure. Good to stand here with you. Reverend Daughtry, we go way back. It's been a while. It's really good to see you. And we've been through some of this before in the past, decade after decade, and it's always as sad as it is now. You know, we've had these moments where we lose people, and I've seen it time and time again in my 50 years in the business. And it breaks your heart every single time. And I have to tell you, when I saw the video and I watched it for those many moments that you all did, we all saw, it was horrific. And you know, every time you see something like that, but especially when it's a law enforcement officer engaging in that kind of conduct, you know, it denigrates, first of all, the work that law enforcement officers in this country do every single day. They go out there, they keep their communities safe, they do it in the name of service, and they do it because it's important to recognize that the people that we serve all deserve to be treated with respect. And as I watched that video, it seemed to me that officer had absolutely no, in fact, he had what seemed to be disdain for George Floyd. And it shouldn't happen. I was out there, I did the job, certainly Commissioner Shea did the job, we've been out in the street, I've locked people up, we've made arrests, and it was never about treating them differently because they committed a crime. It was simply about, I'm a police officer, you broke the law, I put the cuffs on you, and it's over. I'm not the jury, I'm not the judge, I don't make judgments about who you are, and I certainly do not treat you differently because of who you are, what you look like, or any of that. And that has to be what our officers do. That's what we teach. We expect them to respect the job that they took when they raised their hand and took the oath. So for me, it's somewhat personal. I mean, I grew up here in Brooklyn, not that far from here, and I used to have run-ins with police when I was a teenager. But it wasn't, it was, and I didn't really like cops. But I can tell you that once I came on this job, and I won't go into how it all came about that I actually took the job, but I started at 18, and when I came on and I started to work with people in this department, yeah, and they weren't all angels, I can tell you that, to be honest, but many of them, most of them were. And I still see these folks today. My partner, Sal Balistreri, is 84 years old. And we walked the streets, and we made arrests, and we did it the right way, and that's what I try to pass on to all the young cops that I have the opportunity to speak with. So, again, on behalf of Terrence and the family, I just offer my sincere condolences on their loss.
You will now hear from Bishop Herbert Daughtry, the pastor of this historic church of the House of the Lord Church.
Thank you very much, Reverend McCall, Commissioner. It's almost like a nightmare. Would you believe it? June 14th, 1978, a man named Arthur Miller was strangled to death, chokehold. That's why I brought the paraphernalia out here. I led all the marches. Tied up subways, jumped on the subway tracks. I don't know how many times I went to jail, tied up traffic in the middle of the streets, brought the congressional hearing from Washington here, police brutality, went to the United Nations with the documentation, police brutality. I warned that New York was going up in smoke. It didn't happen. In the many years that I led the movement, we knew how to take care of our business. People didn't do anything to destroy or divert or derail our movement. And I remember standing on the steps of City Hall. I'd come back from Miami in 1980 after being down there and what people call a riot, I call them a rebellion. People are angry, outraged. And I warned New York that the same thing was going to happen. But you know, it's very interesting. It didn't happen in the years that I led the movement. Not a building was ever burned. No violence except the violence that was emanating from the police, which ran horses into our movement, who ran cars into our movement. I got the pictures downstairs. I wish it was an opportunity for you to survey all the film. This is just a few of them. So I'm here now, 89 years old, been in the movement 61 years. I'm old. The only reason I could get out of the house is that I had to promise my wife for 58 years that I was going to try to tighten up and fix up. Because, you know, after you've been married 58 years and 89 years old, you can't afford to get kicked out, you know. Your marketability. Your marketability has been seriously reduced.
Diminished.
So that's why I'm masked up, polished up. I wish I had something else on so I can get in the house when I get back. So I just connected. I'm here, I guess, to say that you've got to change. It is interesting, by the way, that downstairs we're giving out 60,000 masks. 30,000 have already been given out. We have 30,000 more contributed by the Black Church PAC, which my daughter, the Reverend Leah Daughtry, some of you might know she was the CEO of the 2008 Democratic Convention and made history by being the CEO of the 2016. So I got all of these voices and influencers telling me to stay home and stay away from all y'all, don't get close, not even the commissioners. When the commissioners don't get close to, you know. So I'm here again, I guess, to plead, as I have done for all these many years, with all concerned, that this is a defining moment. They come once in a while, and you seize the moment. And this can be the moment that we make America what America ought to be. This can be the moment. I shudder. I think it was Thomas Jefferson who said, and then I'm finished, during the days of slavery, I shudder for my country when I remember that God is just. But we got a chance to change. I'd like to see it in my lifetime. We got a chance to use this occasion, use this event. And from what I've seen in the street, I've seen a lot of stuff in the street that I've seen before, but I'm not quite sure I've seen it on this wise in terms of the youthfulness and diversity of the people on the move and want to see change. So I'm glad you come here to this church. I believe it was a divine intervention, divine direction that you should come here to this church, which has a long history of being at the cutting edges of the most important issues that affect the planet and the people. And so maybe the reason that you got here then is that we can say, we can make a sanctified boast that, they came to the church where I had pastored for 61 years on the issues that trying to make this country a better country. And it was here that they called the press conference. Reverend McCall, who I've been knowing since he don't like to tell his age. I'll tell mine. And the commissioners, God bless you all, and let us hope that this is the day that we will witness change in America, and America will live up the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths that I don't need to finish the quote. You know it too well. Thank you.
Last statement, then we're going to go. We're calling all community leaders across this country, those in New York City that have issues with police conduct, because we have a conversation. This is the beginning of a conversation that we can be able to work together. And I think that's what it is on this time. We're going to use George Floyd as a symbol of peace and to be able to just be unified and come up with some policies and legislation and begin a dialogue on both ends. So as we continue to call for peace on the left, we need to have justice on the right. Thank you, and God bless you.
Oh, think about it. Yeah. But I don't know. They didn't. Terrence Floyd, but he didn't show up. Oh, really? Wow. Got it. Okay. All right. It is what it is. Okay, brother. You too, man. Thank you. Okay, bye.
Hold on a minute. There's something going on here. I don't know. Yeah. Peter, what do you say?